All right, GM guys, once again, it's a beautiful Friday. Hope you guys are having a great start to your day. And if you haven't realized, this music and this amazing vibes is all brought to you by our beloved TD77. Please join us in giving a big shout out to our own DJ Monkey TD77, who's been taking the town hall, all around for a spin every single week. And just last week, he wasn't with us, so we shipped pretty bad music. Thanks for everybody's, patience and endurance sitting through that bad music. But we will have TD77 with us, moving forward every week. So yeah, thanks again for taking your precious Friday out to join us. Before we kickstart this week's town hall, I just want to quickly add a personal note here. Obviously, the last week has been, a pretty, fruitful week, in many sense, but also, let's be honest here, is, definitely a week where, it may have been, challenging to different individuals. And there are definitely days where it takes a little bit more effort to get out of the bed and, just get the work done. But I think the fact remains that there is a bunch of constructive feedback that constantly is being provided by committee members. A lot of individuals have reached out through various platforms, provided your suggestions, DM and whatnot, on how certain aspects of the DAO can be better executed. All right, and honestly speaking, as much as it may be tough, this is what get me going personally every other day. And I believe this is the same for many of us as well, right? And this is what get us going every other day. I just want to take this time to really assure you guys that all of your feedback are well noted. We, or if not, most of us read through. Okay, let me see. I'm seeing a lot of text. Okay, you guys are very disruptive. I am trying to be like really serious here because this is like one of like the few opportunities I have to be serious. So I'm just gonna get back to it. So yeah. Anyway, I just want to really quickly end this up by saying all of your feedback are well noted. We, or if not most of us, read them through and take it back. Even though sometimes it's annoying, it may be virtually impossible for us to address all of them at once. Can somebody just leave a note and let me know if this ping is just for the memes, or like I'm trying to like am I having a hot mic moment? Okay, great, thank you, Banana. Like finally a sane monkey. This is what we turn up for every single Friday, right? And this is exactly what I live for. But I just want to share that this, all of your feedback is taken into consideration. It is annoying to many of us when you provide the feedback and sometimes they don't get replied, or you feel like you are being ignored. But sometimes it is just virtually impossible for us to be able to reach all of them. But nevertheless, all or if not most of us take the time and effort to make sure they are all sort of read through as much as possible. And I just want to quickly share that, as you continue to, hear from the team, the new initiatives that and the work that is being rolled out, everything will be done at the heart of the community. That is because I think we need a very timely reminder that MonkeDAO, started 2 years ago as a place to serve the community, to unite the community. And I think we need to hear this more than ever before. This too, shall not change. Every move that we take definitely needs to be reflective of what MonkeDAO stand for. We will and we shall continue to operate that way moving forward. All right. So with that, you guys can continue your pings and we can get the town hall of this week started. All right. Let's go. This town hall would not be complete if we don't run through the usual newsletter. All right. And I think many of you have used the newsletter as an amazing source of information. And I'm not sure whether if you guys feel the same way as me. It's almost like every week, I'm forced to look at the newsletter, but I still, feel like there's a sense of pride and there's always this level of excitement that goes through. Especially when you read through the work that is being done, the content that is being put out. Imagine a team that comes through, for the past 78 weeks, just putting out newsletter content like that. If you look at the first version and then look at where we are right now, there's such a big difference. And even if you're listening to this on record, just a quick reminder, you don't have to sit through 1 hour. If you don't want to listen to Jamie voice, no problem. Go straight to Discord, key in exclamation mark Town Hall TLDR, and you would be able to get through most of the updates in a very quick point form. All right, and this week we continue to highlight the different sort of initiatives like Monday Monkey Spotlight. There's also the Berlin Hacker House upcoming, which I believe Maurice will be there. A lot of monkeys will be there. I believe there is also likely a Telegram or a community that is started out already. And I think Simon just put out the Solana Toronto meetup as well, happening on the August 22nd. Okay, let me try to work on switching off my notification because there is clearly a lot of ping. All right, I am going to switch it off to nothing. So you guys should not hear any funny thing now. Let me know. And if you want to try out, just give me a tag. All right, this is working perfectly. I should have done this long ago. All right. It's okay. It took me 78 weeks to find out how the notification worked, and another 78 weeks to find out more new things ahead. All right. So SMB holder opportunities, more Tensor shards being given out. Andy and I had a great time coordinating the way it was being sent out. There were a lot of committee members that benefited from this giveaway. But of course, there were also some feedback provided. So thanks for letting us know what you feel about it. Definitely, there's ways that we can do things a little bit better. But of course, this initiative is really driven at how we can engage the community, make sure that anything that we get back goes back to the community as much as possible. There's also the amazing partnership which I am pretty excited about, the Williams F1 Real Wing takeover. If you guys have not signed up yet, you have until August 18 to do so. Definitely go ahead and check it out. And I think, Simon, I see that you're trying to share a link. Maybe not sure if the link is showing, but it should allow you to share the link. But if not, feel free to check out like the perms, and we should be able to get the sort of embed working from there. All right. Of course, the ads. If you guys want to advertise any of your platform you're working on, or any thing related to interesting initiatives, or even within MonkeDAO, if you're sort of spearheading a certain initiative, definitely reach out to Simon and the newsletter team. We would love to have it featured so that it can get through to more fellow monkeys, fellow community members, and even outsiders who may be looking at our newsletter as well, right? And of course, monkeys on Twitter, this is one of the most exciting part of every single newsletter. Yes, finding out about MonkeDAO, the work that the DAO is doing is great, but nothing beats being able to find out about the individual members, what they are working on, or like what's up with them, how different folks get together. I think my favorite part of this week is seeing Ricky catch his Pokemon, the Pokemon that reflects him the best. So congratulations, Ricky. I'm not sure if you're here, but that's a big win. All right, so that brings us towards the tail end of the agenda item. This is too early to call the end, but this is the end of the Banana Split 78 edition. All right, so hope you guys enjoy it. If you're looking for the newsletter, use the newsletter command. All right, I just want to quickly also take this time to mention that there is, I'm not sure if some of us seen this, but we clamped down a lot of the security measures, over the last couple of days, especially because there was an imposter going around sort of pretending is Jammy Jam. And so not just within MonkeDAO, across many different servers as well, different NFT projects, they have been changing their name to supposed Jammy Jam, and then dropping scam links to individuals. And unfortunately, we had a monkey who fell for it, and suffered a pretty strong degree, or pretty huge degree of financial loss. We feel really sorry about it, but we just want to also take this opportunity to remind everybody to be extremely cautious when you're interacting with any individuals. We have pretty much put out keywords ban. Any new members would not be able to drop link as well, because the way that the individual got around it is that they actually bought a Gentry, they got verified, and then through that they came in, go across all the channels and start dropping links. All right, so be very careful. Yeah, I think Simon is right. Security measures are super tight right now. You may run into some issues in the Discord server, but please let us know. Most of the individuals who are verified after a certain duration, you should be good, but still always double check, triple check if you're interacting with any links or any individuals in messages. A good way that we try to get people to verify is to go into the actual Discord. So example, if someone claims to be Norm, come into MonkeDAO. There's a role and there's a separate category that spells out, Norm specifically. If it's online, you can click on the Norm specifically, and then select the message him button. If after clicking on to message him, it links you to the same chat, then there's a larger degree that it should be good. All right. But if it doesn't, that is a clear red flag. All right. So just be very careful. This is extremely random. I have no idea why. But I think this is just a bad choice by the impersonator. I probably have one of the lowest ROI for them, but it's just annoying to see regardless. All right, so just be very careful. Make sure you got your monkeys well, got your wallets well, and don't interact with any links that loosely. All right. So next up, we just want to quickly mention, I think this is related, the next agenda item is related to community engagement initiative. So let's bring up Florida Man to talk about this briefly. This is something as a follow-up to many of the feedback provided as well. So I'm very excited for our own Florida Man to come share with us on how this may have already been rolled out progressively.
Thanks, Jemmy. Hey guys. So basically, right, we've seen a lot of feedback over the past couple days, past couple weeks, and trying to figure out the best way to synthesize that and to capture it. And so we're doing a number of things to engage the community, to talk about some of the things that are being worked on and get some proactive feedback and insight directly from you guys. So as part of that, I led a session last week where we talked through some of the roadmap items for the banana stand and what we're working on there. Was really curious to get feedback from some members of the community and overall just really test that format to see how it worked. I would say it went really well. We got a lot of great feedback throughout that process, and then kind of parlayed that into reaching out to the folks in the all teams chat, the most active people in the DAO who are actively doing work to support MonkeDAO, right, and have a really frank conversation about the state of things, what they may be frustrated about, and also what they want to see in the future, right? So I think this is just the beginning of a process that is going to expand over time. I'll probably spend a decent amount of time in the regular chat channels this weekend to be everybody's human pinata and really just hear any frustrations or talk about kind of what's going on. I think understanding the decision-making process and why we did certain things at certain times is really important, and create a really open dialogue. So if anybody's interested in participating in some of those smaller, more focused sessions on specific topics, we'll be doing one of those a month moving forward, and ultimately just hoping to kind of clear the air, give people an opportunity to speak their mind and be engaged with you guys and get your feedback, because obviously we all care about it a lot. So I think you'll see that manifest in other ways as well with teams gathering feedback. So I think that's pretty much it for me. Thanks, Jemmy. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Ferda, man. Really appreciate it. I think what is, I think, we've seen a couple of sessions of this, and not just the official sessions. One, the group has been extremely helpful and constructive, which brings me to my next point, right? I think the next item that, we sort of line up and want to sort of quickly remind everybody is about this Monkey Meetup grant survey that has been put out. I'm not able to see your ping. And neither will you hear the ping from the text. So that's great. But I'm going to quickly, try to grab hold of the link to the Monkey Meetup Community Grant Survey and just, drop it here so that we can all look at it. But I think all in all, what we really want to sort of try to bring across is that we want to gather, feedback from you guys on what's the best approach to this. And this is the link to the post or the minor announcement post that was put out. Please go ahead and spend a couple of minutes to look at it. But this Monkey Meetup community grant survey is really established as sort of like a platform for us to gather more feedback on how we can run it. But for those of us who may be new or unaware, we actually have introduced some form of grant that is aimed to get community members to come together, encourage folks to get together on a regular basis. And I think through rolling that out over the last year or so, we have seen how it has manifested and sort of help us further establish ourselves as one of the best meeting grounds. Of course, there are multiple out there, but no doubt MonkeDAO has established itself as one of the best meeting ground for individuals across Web3. And we have seen individuals coming together, not just within US, but across the region, like Europe, North America, Asia, and whatnot. Right. So as part of the effort to continue strengthening this aspect of MonkeDAO, the community spirit, the connectedness, and whatnot, we are very close towards the introduction, the reintroduction of the Monkey Meetup Community Grant Program again. So this basically is almost like a continuation of the trial program that we rolled out. What it basically entails is that members can get together on a regular basis, be reimbursed for a proportion of their expenses. Of course, very quickly we are already seeing some interesting comments. We're going to spend how much of the treasury are we going to spend on this? But we are not going to go out there to basically buy lavish meals for everybody. That's not the whole idea of it. But the whole idea is to be able to use it as a medium to get people to come together. All right. And so please take a couple of minutes, fill it in, let us know your thoughts around it. It includes things like the city you are based in. Would you be interested in participating in such meetup? Would you see the value of such meetup, the frequency of such meetups? And of course, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate it. Nano, no lavish meal, no Lambos. This is the wrong place. All right. Okay. I'm extremely distracted today. So anyway, sort of back to this Monkey Meetup grant, but we just want to get a better understanding of where everybody stands. And of course, we are well aware that the community today is larger than where we were, a year ago, right? 2 years ago. So we want to make sure that this program can be scaled in a sustainable manner and a scalable manner, to ensure that as many people can benefit, from this program and can actually come together. All right. So there's a couple of questions, that would require your, input. So take some time to let us know. But after we review all your inputs, we will then come together and share more findings around it, and as well as any potential next steps. All right. With that, I think just want to quickly mention that this program, although we are gathering feedback, your cities and whatnot, there's a high chance that we may roll this out progressively, right? Starting with a select few cities that may have a higher concentration of membership. So that is just one thing we want to get across. Of course, the goal is to cover as many locations as possible over time. All right. So the next agenda item is related to the Monkey Ventures. I think there was a tag earlier to sort of mention about it. Monkey Ventures, again, act as like a subcommittee of MonkeDAO that aims to sort of democratize, the access to investment opportunities for retail investors. And right now, there's the portals extension round. Every individual who has already indicated interest should have already been tagged. If you are interested in participating in that and you have not yet been tagged, please reach out to myself or Papi Chulo, and let us know, and we can have you sort of tagged so that you can participate. If you are already tagged, please note that the onboarding period is closing up. We need you to complete the onboarding process so that you can finish up the indication, the allocation fulfillment as quickly as possible. All right. If you have any questions, similarly, reach out to myself or Papi Chulo, and we can help you to work around with it. There's a couple of nuances around onboarding users to the unique platform today, but that is also largely because this is almost like a new milestone, a big milestone for us. It marks a new beginning where we are transiting everything completely on chain. So we are almost, stress testing the platform for the first time. So thanks a lot for everybody's patience, throughout this whole process. And so, I think with that, with this current sort of cycle, the subsequent ones will only get easier. That's what we hope, and I think I am hopeful of that. All right. So this is finally, close to the tail end of not so much of Jamie talking. Next up, let's move to some of the latest bylaw updates, as well as, some of the restructuring. I know today some of our community members have tagged us around some of the latest updates around the votes and whatnot. And so I would love to bring up Gibby today to share with us. She's been, extremely helpful, working with, both the execs as well as the community members to help get some of the work done across. So, Gibby, GM, I hope you are having an amazing start to your day. Why don't we have you today to share with us a little bit on what is going on behind the scenes for the bylaw updates, as well as anything related to that.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me, Jemmy. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ariel, also known as Gibby. I am legal counsel to the DAO. I'm also a DAO member, but I'm currently speaking right now, I guess you could say, as legal counsel. I wanted to touch upon the bylaws. Today, over the last week, there's been a draft of bylaws proposed by DAO member Gui Cookie. And with his consent, that vote is no longer going to go through today, as Gui Cookie, myself, and Nano are all working to create a collaborative version of the bylaws and kind of change the direction so that it is a little bit more community run and it is delegated. So I wanted to keep everybody updated in that proposal is not going to be set out for a vote, because we are working on a collaborative version between the current exec team, Gui Cookie, that has expressed a lot of interest in this, a lot of concerns, and has been incredibly helpful and insightful, and then the version that I have contracted myself as legal counsel. So we are hoping that it will alleviate a lot of the concerns that the DAO has expressed. It will answer a lot of questions and hopefully provide a very successful path forward for MonkeDAO for the near future and the faraway future. So, Jemmy, thank you for having me up. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. This draft should hopefully be out in the next week at the latest. We are right now just kind of going through the meeting of the mind stage. We're all very close to agreeing. It's just a matter of getting it on paper in a way that everybody can understand it and it's organized. So yeah, I think that is all that I wanted to touch upon today. Again, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me. I love MonkeDAO. I love my job as legal counsel, and I truly love what this DAO represents. And I'm looking forward to working with community members, exec team members, in creating a collaborative version that I truly am confident everybody will like.
All right, thanks a lot, Gibby. Really appreciate you. Thanks a lot for taking time outside of your work to sort of work together with the community members as well as the exec to put that together. That has been extremely helpful. Norm, I just want to sort of quickly point out if there is a point that we wanted to add. I think there was also a specific proposal that was flagged to our that was actually brought up to our attention. I think that was related to a point regarding budget. So Norm, if you want to come up and talk a little bit about that, I believe there should be some coverage with some of the existing work.
Yeah, hey everybody. So there's actually two proposals that do need to go towards a vote. One of them is around the rebranding and community competition by Stroll, and the other one is the kind of maximum amount that executives could be spending without going through DAO voting and approval. The second one by Hawat Rabbit is going to be covered by a lot of the changes that are inside of both of those vote proposals. Not only Gui Cookie's vote proposal, but also the one that Gibby, Nano, and we have all been working on together. So that's kind of being lumped into that one specifically. And Strolls as well needs to be pushed to the vote. We understand that this has taken a decent chunk of time, more so than what we were expecting, and is what is currently inside of the bylaws. And I think that's just a oversight on our end, focusing on community feedback and not doing, one of the most important things for the DAO, which is pushing together votes and things that you all view as important and want to discuss. So that's an apology from my end, and I should have been more present to push a lot of those forwards. And we're looking at fixing that in a relatively short future.
All right, thanks a lot, Norm. Really appreciate that. I think next up we can transit towards the Gentry team. I think the Gentry team has prepared an update. They would like to sort of come up and share with us. So without further delay, I'm going to pass the time to, believe it's Benny, to sort of walk us through that statement that the team may have already prepared.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jimmy. Good morning, my beautiful monkeys. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. I'm still powering through my first cup of coffee, so if I stumble over my words a little bit, I apologize. But the Gen 3 team, we've been seeing a lot of your guys' concerns and comments and questions surrounding the Gen 3 team, our roles and responsibilities, the future of the SMB IP and brand as a whole, as well as Gen 2 and Gen 3, and how all of that plays into MonkeDAO as a whole. And we wanted to come up here and just kind of open up some dialogue. We're going to have an announcement coming out later today that's going to go into a little bit more detail, but we wanted to address it in town hall as well. And a good place to start is going back to the initial OMC Mint Mechanics V2 vote that came out in March. And that went out alongside the MonkeDAO Independence proposal vote, which at the time we had no control of the SMB IP. And both votes came out at the same time because they kind of played hand in hand with each other, where one needed the other, especially when it came to the MonkeDAO Independence proposal, where it pretty much put up that we were going to pursue a buyout with Hades DAO for a fair market price of the SMB IP, which ended up being $2 million. And in order to raise that $2 million, we were going to release the OMC collection and mint out the collection. And the OMC Mint Mechanics V2 vote had the kind of key deliverables and responsibilities of the Gen 3 team. And some of the most important ones are coordinate the launch of the OMC NFT collection, consisting of 10,000 NFTs released in an initial mint, with an additional 5,000 released over the next 12 months through the auction format that we've talked about a few times. Facilitate the distribution of mint tokens through various channels, including SMB Gen 2 NFT holders, through bulk pre-sales to MonkeDAO members, and via the public raffle launchpad. Organize and manage the auctions for the OMC NFT collection. Initiate and coordinate technical development activities to support the minting process, including the minting website, auction contracts, and any necessary infrastructure. Execute the monetization strategy outlined in the proposal, aiming to raise funds for the acquisition of SMB IP and the MonkeDAO treasury, and implement a licensing system that grants OMC holders rights to use and sub-license their monkeys art as defined in the provided license template, which is now included in the metadata. Massive shout out to Ricky and Gibby for including that. And it was also in there that in exchange for delivering these things, the Gen 3 team would get 12.5% of revenue and royalties. And that was to reward and incentivize the team. We had been working on it for a few months since then. We knew that there was going to be hundreds of hours of work that was going to go into building it from there, and as well as just incentivize us to make it as successful as possible. And that vote passed with 80% approval. And it was something we were really excited about. We kind of put our head down and we knew that we needed to create the best collection possible. And at the time, we weren't sure if we were going to be able to finalize the buyout with the SMB IP or if we were going to have to stick with the OMC branding and the Monkeys Twitter account that we had created. It wasn't until April, I think it was April 20th, that we finally completed the acquisition of the SMB brand and IP and took on a $2 million debt that needed to be paid back within roughly 3 months. And that was insanely exciting. I was hyped for it. I know the entire community was hyped for it, but it definitely put a lot of pressure on us as well because we were on a lot more of a strict time schedule. We had our backs against the wall. We needed to release this collection within the next 3 months so we could fund that $2 million buyout and fulfill our contract agreements. And at the time too, there was a lot of FUD going around. I mean, NFT scene hasn't been doing super well recently, especially back then where the SOL prices were dipping a lot, and there's just a lot of uncertainty in the space, not only from outside our community, but even within. But it was something where the Gen 3 team really had to kind of put our heads down and power through it because we needed to release this collection. And within those 3 months, we needed money in the bank by a certain date so we could finally pay off these debts. Eventually, we got the IP, and then eventually kind of just managing the SMB related matters mostly fell into the lap of the Gen 3 team since we were already working on a lot of the related things. We polled the community to see if we wanted to stick with the OMC branding or if we wanted to rebrand the collection to SMB Gen 3. And that kind of turned into us running the SMB Twitter account, looking into a website, along with a few other things. primarily the branding that we've discussed in a previous announcement, where we had already been working on the OMC branding. We were working with Pony, and when we decided that we were going to go with the direction of going into the SMB Gen 3 collection, it made more sense for us to work on the overall umbrella branding for SMB and then focus and narrow our sights onto Gen 3 and Gen 2 after that. But at the end of the day, the Gen 3 team's primary goal were centered around maximizing fundraising for the DAO. As per the proposal, make sure that we got that $2 million in the bank by a specific date so we could pay off the debts. And then eventually Mint Week came up, and I think we blew our own expectations and everyone else's expectations out of the water. You know, started with the SMB Gen 2 claim, and I think we had about 1,000, 1,500 claim on the first day. It went into the pre-sale with 1,000 going out insanely fast. I mean, a lot faster, and the demand was a lot higher than we had expected for some of the reasons I mentioned before. You know, there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of FUD about whether or not we were going to be able to sell out this collection at all. And then finally, the raffle, which was absolutely insane. 80,000 tickets, 0.3% of the Solana supply. I mean, it was nuts, and I think it went really well, and it really checked the boxes of what we were tasked to do within the proposal. And then once the mint had completed, we got the reveal out. I think that's where some of the concerns started popping up, primarily with the branding, but also around what the roles and responsibilities of the SMB Gen 3 team was going forward. How did it play into the overall SMB branding? How did Gen 2s come into the picture as well? And what does it mean working alongside MonkeDAO? And how does all of this come together into a beautiful monkey picture? And that led to a lot of concerns from the community, reasonably so. There's a lot of conflicting expectations that we were looking at. A lot of community members made it clear that they thought the Gen 3 team should not be doing things that were in the proposal, like the auctions. A lot of community members made it clear that they thought the Gen 3 team should not be doing things that weren't in the proposal, like the SMB branding. And other community members made it clear that they thought the Gen 3 team should be doing things that weren't in the proposal, like SMB marketing, SMB website, post-launch Gen 3 community management, utilities, and everything around Gen 3. And I think that it was a difficult time because we weren't necessarily sure what our roles and responsibilities were. We were getting a lot of mixed feedback across the board. And this is a great opportunity to kind of take a step back and figure out what exactly the community wants. So what's next is like I said, Nano is going to be putting out an announcement that's going to go into a lot more detail than I just did. And there's going to be a survey in there that's going to ask all of these questions. It's going to go into depth. Because at the end of the day, we need to have a very clear list of responsibilities for these teams. We need to align expectations and incentives to the community's goals for SMB, Gen 2, Gen 3, and how it all works within the organization and structure of MonkeDAO. Some of the questions that are going to be in this survey is, should there be a dedicated SMB team? If yes, what are their responsibilities? If no, who would be responsible for officially running SMB? What are the MonkeDAO responsibilities relating to SMB? What decisions can a team be empowered to make with autonomy? What happens when MonkeDAO acquires or creates other brands or NFT collections? Should there be dedicated to teams to run each of those? And how many people should be on such teams, and what resources should they have available? And these are just a few of the important questions, but this is something that we want the community feedback. We want to hear what direction you guys want to go and how we should be organizing all of this. And so keep an eye out in the announcement channel. Nano's I already read the announcement. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's a big chunk of words. I'm sure we'll have a TLDR if you don't want to go through it all. But regardless, you should definitely be filling out that survey and giving us your opinions and your thoughts on the future direction.
All right, thanks a lot, Benny. Appreciate you coming up to share with us the Gen 3 team's comment, especially. I think that was super helpful, especially given that a lot of the all members have been sort of fielding different questions. So appreciate you guys setting that through. Similarly, I think there were some questions as well, shared here, and Simon, thank you, Benny 2.0, much better than 1.0. So yeah, definitely it was helpful, at least for the team to come up and share that perspective of things. All right. So next up, let's move on with the other agenda items. I think we just have a couple more, but before we continue to run through them, I just want to quickly, mention that, aside from the regular town hall updates, we also, try to utilize our Precious Fridays to meet our new monkeys. So if there are any new monkeys in the room, if you guys want to say hi, feel free to let us know. We would love to, carve some time for us to meet you. Just, ping myself or ping Super Simon in the town hall text chat, and we'll make sure to have you line up to say hi. So with that, I think we can continue moving to the next agenda item. That is the related to some of the larger plans as well as the structuring related. I think some of the documentation has really been flagged out. So I think we'll bring up Norm to share with us a little bit on what to expect or some of the things that may be a little bit held back and what we can sort of take from there. So Norm, GM again, let's bring you up to run through this North Star document. Oops, is Norm okay? Maybe it's a technical challenge. Let's see if Norm, just let me know if you are around or if you are hearing me well. Maybe it's a technical issue. Okay, lovely. You are finally unmuted.
Apologies
Thank
about
you.
that. Getting rugged by Discord for a minute. So yeah, as Jimmy highlighted, obviously Sunday we put out a statement talking about kind of the next 4 pieces of updates that we're going to be pushing through. The first one of those is a North Star statement and general update around what we want to do for the collection going forward, based around not only the feedback sessions that we've had in the last week, a lot of the community ideas and the conversations going on in the all teams chat. That's not ready to put out yet. Part of that is my fault. I haven't put it into a cohesive and easy to understand thing as the announcements tag in Discord goes to make it more bullish and exciting. That's something that we're actively working on. We want to make sure that it's not a announcement of when price go up, right? But it is something that gets you excited as current holders of Gen 2 and Gen 3 SMBs, and ideally is going to get other people excited about wanting to join the community of MonkeDAO through the acquisition of these. We've heard your messaging about making announcements and understanding more, of making announcements more bullish, of making the things that you're looking forward to more exciting, rather than continuous long documents. We're going to put those into succinct, understandable ways for you as community members to be excited about all these different things. So I'm sorry that the North Star statement is taking that long to push out, and I'm going to continue to be working through that as much as I can. So that's your first item that goes through there. Your second kind of conversations and updates, and I'm just going from the announcement that I put forward previously on Sunday of last week, is the fact that there does need to be a budget going forward. So part of this is the fact that we have finalized the repayment for both SPV and to the Hades DAO for the completion of the IP, or the completion of the purchase of the IP. And you're probably going to ask things like, why did it take so long? It's been a significant period of time since the mint. But we were working through the ideas of how could the DAO hold onto the Solana, right? Rather than using this as a method of transference from people who minted the NFTs directly towards the individuals who helped us with the loan in SBB and the counterparty in Hades DAO. How could MonkeDAO hold on to as many assets as possible? So we were working with a couple of different Solana DeFi partners, mainly MarginFi, around an idea of what would it take in order to productively put that Solana specifically into the Sol DeFi ecosystem, make it so the MonkeDAO is holding on to as much of it as possible and still repay in a timely manner. With the events that happened around not only Cypher's hack that happened in this week, just the general ways that the Solana price has been going on, and trying to make this into a actual sustainable strategy rather than a risky margin strategy where we would run the risk of a massive change in SOL price liquidating us out of the assets in general. We couldn't make that work to a point where we were feeling safe as MonkeDAO and not putting those assets at risk. So for that specifically, we've actually I've just opted to do the repayment in USDC, and I think we can share both of those transaction links directly in the chat if it hasn't been already. Moving forward from that, in turning it from what have we done into what makes it exciting, we're collecting all of the feedback and all of the plans that we have and making sure that you as the DAO members have a clear understanding of not only what the goals are for the next 12 months, but how we are going to be using the funds that are in the treasury to pursue those goals to provide value to you as a member of MonkeDAO. We want to put these into a general budget so that everyone has an understanding of where the funding is going. Based on all of the conversations we've been having recently, I think that's the best way that we can go forward with a lot of this. A lot of the executives have been working very hard on pushing these documents into readable ways and also making sure that we are prioritizing the right things. The next part of that has obviously been the reviews of each of the executives for their deliverables and their performance. Internally, we've conducted not only ratings anonymously of each of the other executives based on what they've done over the last 6 months, but also summaries of their contributions. We're going to be pushing those into a easy-to-read, digestible format so that you as membership can have an understanding of what each person has been doing, especially if some of these things have been lost previously. And then as Gibby and others have highlighted, there are going to be updates to MonkeDAO's bylaws and what we want to focus on for voting going forward. I think we've seen improvements in our suggestion and feedback for now, and we're going to continue to push together as much as we can so that the voting proposal and process also improves in that way so that it's not dependent or delayed on any of us. So those are just the general things that we are working on. That's the state of kind of what we have been doing in not only the last couple of weeks, but what we're going to continue to push forward. And we're looking forward to sharing that all with you in a bit more bullish sentiment. So thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. And I hope you all have a good Friday.
All right, thanks a lot, Nom. That's always helpful, and to get a very helpful sort of like a quick overview on what to expect, especially around some of the most recent announcements. So I think this probably brings us towards the tail end of all the serious stuff, and so now we are ready to go to the slightly more fun, aspect of every town hall, which is to welcome our new monkeys. But that I am seeing that little tag, but I'm not falling for it. So actually, before we transit to welcoming new monkeys, I just want to also take this opportunity to, quickly remind everybody on this sort of like partnership equivalent. I think Ricky pushed this out. Maurice also, sort of made sure to remind us again of this current ongoing Holoplex blockchain battle, where you could potentially win a SMB Gen 2. So I think we can actually link it. Let me try to find this. I will drop the link to the thread where you can actually find out more information about it. But basically, you can actually win an SMB Gen 2 or use by voting for your favorite blockchain. And that basically showcases how easy it may be to mint an NFT, on both Solana as well as like Polygon, and they are basically putting two of the strong communities to the test, right? Every time you vote, everyone gets one vote to choose a chain. And so if you are interested to participate, please go ahead, click on that link. I'm going to drop it here again. It basically leads you to that post. Otherwise, just click on to the blockchainbattle.holoplex.com, and you can probably find out everything that you need to know about it and how you can participate in it all via that platform alone. All right. So, hope you guys have fun. I think this is, definitely one of the many fun partnerships or initiatives opportunities that have been brought forward to community members here. So I think we're finally ready to welcome our new monkeys. We have been fortunate enough to have a couple of folks step up and say that they are new or they want to sort of come up and say hi. I sort of highlighted a couple. I think there's Crypto Kelly, there's BIP, which is the individual who minted the zero attribute brown monkey. How insane is that? I have to admit, I was very distracted when Norm was going through all the serious stuff, and BIP was just dropping his zero attribute there. And maybe BIP you want to drop it again, but that is insane. Big congratulations. Okay. No racist intention, intended. All right. So let's kickstart the wave of new monkeys. There's also Uncle Seb. There's X. If we could have any one of you request to speak, we would love to pull you up and just share a quick intro of yourself and for us to meet you. Crypto Kelly, we see your request as well. We are adding you in. BIP, if you could, just request as well. We can add you up first. X, we see you as well. Modest Man, we also see your hands. Maybe we can start with Uncle Seb. Uncle Seb, since you are the first one to get on stage with us, GM, welcome to the Monkey family. We are extremely excited to have you. Feel free to share with us a quick intro of yourself, how you got involved in Web3, what brought you to MonkeDAO, and we would love to meet you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me up. GM to everybody, to everyone who is in town hall, to all the speakers. I'm Uncle Sab. Stabby, for those that know me, I've been around the space for quite a bit of time. Being a moderator, I've been in Integrity DAO for quite a bit of time. Brando is, in essence, one of my mentors. Like I said, I know quite a bit of monkeys, like Diego, Drews, Cutest Alien, from other projects and things of that sort. I am about mindset and about positivity. That's, my brand. My brand is uplifting everyone, making sure that, we all have a positive mindset. And since we're in such, a negative space all the time because everyone wants things to move so fast, I believe that there needs to be some sort of normalcy in it. That's why they call me Uncle Sab, because I bring a positive mindset and love and uplifting and, want to kind of shift the narrative from it always having to be so negative to it being positive. And, if nobody else believes in you, Uncle Sab believes in you. Not everyone's going to make it because that's just not realistic. But if you put a positive mindset into someone, then they may be able to make it in something else. Maybe not Web3, but they can make it in something else in their life, as long as, you have a white hot desire to do it. And obviously, there's going to be work and it's going to look like overalls. You're going to have to put some overalls on and get your knees dirty and do those things. But I am overly excited to be in MonkeDAO. Have always wanted to be down with SMB. Thank you guys for having me up. Any questions you might have, I'm always here, and just want to show love and receive love, and love begets love. So I love you all. Thank you for accepting me.
Thank you so much. This is amazing and definitely much needed. I think it's definitely very refreshing for us to be able to hear, such a word, such empowering words, such positive words, and for us to be able to kickstart the weekend like that, and to be able to, hear this in town hall live. Thank you. Thanks again for taking the time to join us and for sharing with us, your sort of intro as well as or what you stand for today. Welcome to the family.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Peace.
All right, next up, let's have Crypto Kelly. Welcome to the Monkey family. We would love to meet you as well. Similarly, feel free to share with us a quick intro of yourself, and we would love to, find out as well how we can be helpful and, introduce you to this amazing group of family members here you have at the MonkeDAO.
Great intro. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm really excited to be in SMB. I've kind of been watching y'all do your thing and all of the episodes unfold, and I just I felt like it was time for me to solidify my place in Solana, I guess. And I really think that I'm excited to see how things go from here on. And even with all of the issues, SMB is still a globally, internationally known brand, and that's something that I feel like Solana needs more of, and I'm super excited to be a part of it.
Thank you. Welcome to the family once again. Thank you for the kind words. We're extremely excited to have you here. Feel free to let us know if we, can be helpful in any way. The MonkeDAO Discord can be a little bit, daunting at times. There are a lot of channels, but the DJMin is supposedly one of the, slightly more fun, area where you can find know, a lot of interesting folks there. But anyway, you know, welcome to the family. If you are lost and you know you need help towards you know getting some of the resources that we have, feel free to reach out to any of the team members, and we'll be more than happy to help you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, I believe we also have X up here. There were actually a couple more monkeys that we wanted to bring up. BIP, especially with that beautiful monkey, it would be injustice for you to not come out and say a couple of words. But totally understandable if you are not available today. We would still love to have you up, you know, in the near future. So maybe, you know, let's hear from X first. X, welcome to the monkey family. Feel free to give us a quick intro of yourself so that we can meet you as well.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all having me up. It's I've been in the space for about 2 years. Just on the low key, not the biggest talker or anything like that, but SMB has always been a group that I've wanted to be a part of, and super excited to be here. Super excited.
All right, welcome to the family. And I see that you are already very well integrated with MonkeDAO, especially with that fresh PFP that you have. And the cloud seems to want us to mention that a couple of magic words, but we probably should refrain from doing that. But anyway, welcome to the family. And it seems like you are definitely enjoying MonkeDAO already. So extremely happy for you. Welcome once again to the family. Next up, we also see that Modest Man is up here with us today. Modest Man, welcome. Thanks a lot for taking the time to come up to speak. Feel free to let us know how we can be helpful, and we'd love to meet you as well.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Good evening to those who are in my part of the world. And very excited to be a part of SMB. I still don't have the second gen, but I have a few third gens now. I gifted one to my wife a couple of days ago. She also won something, so she's quite excited. I had a couple of suggestions. I love the newsletter, and maybe to increase the readership, I know a lot of people take active interest in the newsletter. But how about you run an active contest of some kind to, you know, get people to read it more often, more seriously, and so on and so forth? That's one thought I wanted to leave with you guys. I had a couple of questions maybe Norm could take. One question I had for you, given how much work SMB really does for Solana, have we ever approached the Solana team, or are we already actively engaged with them in terms of them contributing to SMB in terms of grants and support and so on and so forth? That's one. And given that the vision that I have for this brand probably goes way beyond one chain, will there ever be a consideration or a time when the brand will go beyond one chain? Who knows what the futures of the chains themselves might be? Is that something that we are okay to consider, or we are always going to be on Solana and Solana only? Two questions and one thought. Thank you.
Definitely tackle both of these right now. So, as for your first question, direct support from the Solana Foundation or Solana Labs is relatively difficult to get. We've started a couple of different initiatives where we work with them on things like the Build with MonkeDAO grants. But in terms of direct financial support, there really hasn't been any movement in that way, shape, or form. I think they are supporters of SMB and MonkeDAO. There's just not necessarily a measurable impact of that support that we can point to on saying this group supports MonkeDAO. For the second one, for the multi-chain aspect, so we inherited the SMB ordinals that the team at Hades DAO were pushing forward. So that's 42 SMBs that are now Methodist ordinals on chain under the names Yoshi Monkey Business. We are still handling those as, I believe our current terminology for them is as legacy collectibles. They have their own organization and group acting as sort of sub-brand right now in our terminology. It's not to say that we wouldn't ever consider another chain. But, I mean, this is Solana Monkey Business. That's always going to be the priority. And I think that's our focus right now, unless anything changes from what membership is looking for.
All right, thanks a lot, Norm. Modest man, I hope that helped to answer the question you have, and also appreciate the suggestion that you brought forth today regarding newsletter and whatnot. Once again, thanks a lot for joining us this Friday. Just wanted to make sure that we've had most of your concerns addressed. Okay, so I'm guessing Modest Man, we should be good for now. Once again, thanks for taking the time to join us today. Very glad to have you up with us, alongside many of our new monkeys that we've had the opportunity to meet today. All right, so with that, I think it brings us towards the tail end of the agenda item for this week. We are extremely on point, although we are 1 minute off the 1 p.m. schedule. But without further delay, we will now send the Pump It Up vibes. Thank you for taking time to join us once again. Enjoy your weekends.
You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up. You know, pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, don't you know? Pump it up. You got to pump it up, 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 don't you know?